Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayodhirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, chapter 24, verse 21. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Right, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, verse 21, right? We have to start from verse 21. Correct?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
All right. Neela Raktotpalam Hoja Kahlarendri Rain Divar Akaram Hamsa Sarash Chakravaha Karandava Nikojitam Neela, blue, Rakta, red, Utpal, lotus, Ambahaja, born from the water, Kahlar, another kind of lotus, Indivar, another kind of lotus, Akaram, the mine, Hansa, swans, Sarash, cranes, Chakravaha, Chakrava, birds, Karandava birds, Nikujitam, vibrated by their sounds. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In that great lake, there were different types of lotus flowers. Some of them were bluish and some of them were red. Some of them grew at night, some in the day, and some like the Indivar lotus flower in the evening. Combined together, the lotus flowers filled the lake so full that the lake appeared to be a great mine of such flowers. Consequently, on the shores, there were swans and cranes, chakravakas, karandavas, and other beautiful water birds standing about. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The word akaram, mine, is significant in this verse, for the reservoir of water appeared like a mine from which different types of lotus flowers were produced. Some of the lotus flowers grew during the day, some at night, and some in the evening. And accordingly, they had different names and different colors. All these flowers were present on that lake, and because the lake was so calm and quiet and filled with lotus flowers, superior birds like swans, chakravakas, and karandavas stood on the shores and vibrated their different songs, making the entire scene attractive and beautiful. As there are different types of human beings, according to the association of the three qualities of material nature, there are similarly different types of birds, bees, trees, etc. Everything is divided according to the three qualities of the material nature. Birds like swans and cranes, who enjoy clear waters and lotus flowers, are different from crows, who enjoy filthy places. Similarly, there are persons who are controlled by the modes of ignorance and passion, and those who are controlled by the mode of goodness. The creation is so varied that there are always varieties found in every society. Thus, on the bank of this lake, all the superior birds lived to enjoy the atmosphere created by that great reservoir filled with lotus flowers. Okay, let's read two more. Matta Brahmara Sashvarya Hrishta Malathangripam Patmakosha Rajo Dikshu Vikshipat Pavanotsavam. Mat, mad. Brahmara, bumblebees. So Sharvya, with great humming. Hrisht, joyfully. Rom, hair on the body. Lata, creepers. Angripam, trees. Padma, lotus flower. Kosh, world. Raja, saffron. Dikshu, in all directions. Vikshipat, throwing away. Pavan, air. Utsavam, festival. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There were various trees and creepers on all sides of the lake, and there were mad bumblebees humming all about them. The trees appeared to be very jolly due to sweet humming of the bumblebees, and the saffron, which was contained in the lotus flowers, was being thrown into the air. These all created such an atmosphere that it appeared as though a festival were being taking place. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. Trees and creepers are also different types of living beings. When bumblebees come upon trees and creepers to collect honey, suddenly such plants become very happy. On such an occasion, the wind also takes advantage of the situation by throwing pollen or saffron contained in the lotus flowers. All this combines with the sweet vibration created by the swans and the calm of the water. The Prachetas considered such a place to be like a continuous festival. From this description, it appears that the Prachetas reached Shivalok, which is supposed to be situated near the Himalaya mountains. One more verse. We are talking about Kailash, verse number 23. Tatra gandharvam akarnya divya marga manoharam vishishmayu rajaputraste mridanga panavadi anu. Tatra there, gandharvam, musical sounds, akarnya, hearing, divya, heavenly, marg, symmetrical, manhaharam, beautiful, vishishmayo, they became amazed. Rajaputraha, all the sons of King Barhishat, they, all of them, Mridanga, drums, Panava, kettle drums, Adi, all others, all together, Anu, always. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. The sons of the king became very much amazed when they heard vibrations from various drums and kettle drums, along with other orderly musical sounds pleasing to the ear. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. In addition to the various flowers and living entities about the lake, there were also many musical vibrations. The void of the impersonalist, which has no variegatedness, is not at all pleasing compared with such a scene. Actually, one has to attain the perfection of Satchit Ananda, eternity, bliss, and knowledge. Because the impersonalists deny these varieties of creation, they cannot actually enjoy transcendental bliss. The place where the Prachetas arrived was the abode of Lord Shiva. Impersonalists are generally worshippers of Lord Shiva, but Lord Shiva is never without variety in his abode. Thus, wherever one goes, whether to the planet of Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, or Lord Brahma, there is variety to be enjoyed by persons full in knowledge and bliss. Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjanshalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahyam Dati Swapadantikam He Krishna Karna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kantha Radha Kantha Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishvanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priyai Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakti Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namam Vishnu Pataya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Alright, let's read the descriptions one more time. In that great lake, there were different types of lotus flowers. Some of them were bluish, some of them were red, some of them grew at night, some in the day, and some, like the Indivar lotus flower, in the evening. Combined together, the lotus flowers filled the lake so full that the lake appeared to be a great mine of such flowers. Consequently, on the shores, there were swans and cranes, chakravakas, karandavas, and other beautiful water birds standing about. Verse 22. There were various trees and creepers on all sides of the lake, and there were mad bumblebees humming all about them. The trees appeared to be very jolly due to sweet humming of the bumblebees, and the saffron, which was contained in the lotus flowers, was being thrown into the air. These all created such an atmosphere that it appeared as though a festival were taking place there. The sons of the king became very much amazed when they heard vibrations from various drums and kettle drums, along with the orderly musical sounds pleasing to the ear. All right, let's orient ourselves. What is the name of the chapter and what's happening? What is this?
Name of the chapter is Chanting
Lord
the
Shiva.
Songs sung by
Chanting
Lord
the
Shiva.
songs sung by Lord Shiva.
And Prachetas are going for doing tapas and finding the
Which
place.
direction are they going?
East.
They saw west.
West.
West. They're
Not
going
west.
towards
Sorry.
west.
West.
And then
They
Then
saw
what
a
happened?
lake,
They found a very beautiful lake.
like calm and peaceful.
very
Like-
nice. And
like-
then they found all these things.
Hmm.
Okay, very nice. Who are prachetas? Who are prachetas? Yes,
They
please
the
everyone.
sons
Who
of
are prachetas?
The sons of Prachin
Prachin.
warrior.
Prachin.
Sons of Prachina Barahi. Prachina Barahi is the son of
Antardhan.
Antardhan is the son of
Vijay.
Ritu Maharaj.
Ritu Maharaj.
Maharaj is the son of.
Vena.
Rena.
Now I don't know the father's name for Vena. Actually,
Anga.
Anga.
Anga is
Okay,
the
we don't. I don't know
Anga.
Anga's father's name, but Anga's grandfather is Dhruva Maharaj. Okay, so and what made Prachetas go to do the sacrifice or go to do the austerities? What made them do?
because their
They were
father
instructed by
instructed
their father.
them to populate the planet.
To populate the
married.
planet? What?
For
Get married and
Get married.
What made the Prachetas go to do the austerities after all? What was the
before getting married,
they wanted to prepare themselves for Grihastha ashram.
very nice? And who had asked them that?
their father.
Okay. And the father was told about this by who? Who was ordered by Prachina Barahi to do this?
Brahman.
Brahma. Very nice, Brahma. Okay, so everyone is oriented. So then we studied, I think in the last class, remember, we studied the importance of taking the instructions of King Prachina Barahi to the heart and soul to perform the austerities. And I think we digged a little bit about what is the real meaning of doing the austerities and penance. What is it meant for? Okay, it's not that. And then we discussed that it was actually to purify the subtle body so that the subtle body can direct the gross body to achieve the goal of worshipping or worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in this manner, it was given to them the job of populating the universe. So when they had to populate the universe, it's not that they're going to just fill it in with anything, but it has to be the pious people. And this is all going on in Satyayug anyway. Okay, and then when they're going westward, they first see the lake, and now they're going close to the lake, and in the lake, they're seeing the details and the description of different lotuses, different birds and animals, creepers, bumblebees, the pollen, everything is given. And then there are musical sounds being played in orderly manner by drums and kettle drums. Now, so basically what Sri Prabhupada explains in the purport is that these different kinds of birds and animals and even the lotuses they're actually making the environment very calm. So we can see that, okay, this is in the mode of, what mode is most prominent here then?
Goodness.
Goodness.
Okay, so if somebody says that, where are the modes sitting? Can you show me? So we can actually say the modes are everywhere. Everywhere. The modes are acting everywhere because people are in the modes of different modes, one of the three modes or combination of the three modes. The earth, different portion of the planet, the earth is also in different modes depending on where it is. Okay, and then the trees, the plants, the animals, the winds, the clouds, everywhere in this particular planet, in this particular material creation, the modes are happening. Now, as they are going in the western direction, the mode of goodness is becoming more and more prominent. So it says, okay, this looks like Lord Shiva's abode, and this also looks like that this is near the Himalayas. if you change your position, let's say that you go to a place which is very foul smelling, okay, and the wind is filled with filthy smell. The environment is very dirty. There is trash everywhere you see. People are unclean. There are dogs and crows, animals like that. Okay, or there are rats. So what mode is prominent there?
Tamas.
Tamo. Mode of
Tamo.
ignorance.
So one
Ignorance.
devotee, this is interesting. One devotee from UK once took our class, and he said in UK somewhere, he took the name of the town, but I honestly don't remember the name. He said they did this experiment, that how does the modes of nature influence our consciousness. So they went to this particular place in London where the crime rate was very high. Every city has a place where nobody wants to go because the crime rate is high. Yeah, is it like this? Every state,
Yes, Mataji.
Yes,
there are
Mataji.
some red alert areas, the crime rates are high. So guys, they said, okay, they studied the place. That place where the crime rate is high, they found that the walls are filled with graffiti paintings, those paints, and then they draw the skulls and whatever. The graffiti paintings, the place is very ill kept. People are looking very suspicious. They are intoxicating. They look unclean. There is no proper food. Like, there are shops, but the shops are very dirty. The food is not very fresh. It's not like, and then they went and looked at the place where there was very posh areas, like rich people stay. So that area, they saw that it was more green and it was well kept. The shops were, selling fresh fruits and fresh vegetables. The air was very clean. The houses were kept very beautiful. So I said, okay, now let's clean this area where the crime rate is very high. So what these people did, they went and they painted over the graffitis. They made these walls very beautiful, like painted the nice paint. They cleaned all the trash. They offered people to paint their outer walls. They offered people to have them help so that they can clean the houses from inside. They offered the shopkeepers to clean up their shops, and then also to put some nice fruits, vegetables, or some more bright lights. They did that. So the government had a data, what was the crime rate before all these changes were done. So few months into the thing, so they took few months to make all these changes. They saw, interestingly, interestingly, the crime rate went down just by cleaning the environment, just by changing or shifting the modes around where the person is sitting. The crime rate changed. So actually we can see that is why, what is it said? Cleanliness is next to
Yes. Godliness.
godliness. Okay, so if somebody is saying that I'm very godly, then we should check out their houses. Is that how well it is kept? We should check out their, well, I am equally culprit, the closets. How are the clothes kept in the almiras? Little things. We should check out the corners of the house. Are they clean or not? So little things. Or are the plants well kept or not? If they have plants, little things make so much influence in our consciousness. Little things like that. Okay, so it's not a waste of time. Cleaning is not a waste of time. Cleaning is actually, we are changing the mode which is acting on us from externally. And then it is going to influence my consciousness internally. Okay, we are not so independent that, okay, if I go to a place which I described before, the walls are like this, the place is unkept, I will also be a little bit skeptical and would want to go away, even though I'm chanting Hare Krishna. Yes or no? Or would you like to just stay there? I'm not Prabhupada. Prabhupada stayed in Bowery Street.
To go.
Yes.
Bowery Street in New York is the most filthy place. Very, very dirty. Bowery places, like even, the slum areas of India, it's even worse than that. People think New York is so nice. Only, I think, Midtown is okay. The suburbs of New York are okay, but most of the New York is very dirty. It's very smelly. If it snows, you can actually see literally the dirt. The snow becomes dirty because it's so dirty. Because there's so much more of passion. There's so much more of ignorance and more of passion in a city. So you can see that. Okay, so next time see that, okay, I'm seeing that this is a waste of time, but is it really? How is this activity going to enhance my Krishna consciousness? How is it activity going to save me time? People who organize, if their medication cabinet is organized in the house, if their documents are in place, they regularly clean out and retire some of the paperwork in their houses, regularly clean out and only keep enough clothes that they need for the particular season. The kitchen is clean, vessels are clean. Actually, they are very, okay, you tell me before I say this, do you think those people are more efficient or less efficient?
More efficient.
More efficient.
More efficient. How
Yes.
come? The answer is not material, the answer is spiritual. Yes, we can say modes are material, but actually, we can say that there is material, but actually it affects the mind. And if our mind is aligned, then we can use our mind in becoming more and more Krishna conscious. So ultimately, everything is spiritual. Okay, so we are seeing that Lord Shiva's abode is like this. If we go to the planets which are on the lower planetary systems, 5th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, last chapter, gives a description about the hellish planets. So in that particular chapter, we can see that how dirty those planets are. My goodness, there's dogs there, wolves there, oil, boiling hot oil with different Scorpios, different iron rods. So all these things are there. So if somebody has to welcome Krishna in their house, they need to make a place for it. Okay. So this is very important. That all the devotees of the Lord are keeping their body clean and also their external environment clean. It's clean. And here we are seeing that in Lord Shiva's planet, it's not that Lord Shiva is mostly worshipped by the impersonalists. This is interesting. Any reason why? What makes impersonalist worship Lord Shiva? We studied it before. It's related to one of the incarnations of Lord Shiva. Yes. What makes impersonalist worship Lord Shiva? Because he appeared as incarnation of
Shankaracharya, Mataji.
Shankaracharya. Very nice.
Shankaracharya.
Okay, Shankaracharya. So they are thinking that Lord Shiva, because he appeared as Shankaracharya, is ultimately teaching the philosophy of impersonalism or voidism. But actually, if they go to the abode of Lord Shiva, there's variety. And this variety is because of the spirit. The spirit is, quality of the spirit is Satchidanand Vigraha. I'm sorry, Satchidananda. Satchidanand Vigraha is Krishna. Satchidananda. Sat means eternity, bliss. Chit means bliss. No, Chit means knowledge. Ananda means bliss. So wherever there is going to be a spirit soul, wherever there's going to be a super soul, wherever there's going to be glorification of the holy name of the Lord, there's going to be variety. Because Krishna is not varietyless. That one has to keep I think everyone in this class is advanced enough to understand that there is no impersonalism anywhere in Lord's creation. We tend to imagine an impersonalism, but actually there is no impersonalism. But it's actually not an imagination, because we are living in a imaginary field, because my field where I have situated myself in this body is kind of a dream. It's not real. So I have adopted impersonalism in my life at many places. And I think we discussed about it. Like, for example, nowadays, the work is mostly done by the machine, right? You go to the shop, you check out yourself, you don't talk to anybody, just pick up the material. So there's like a little bit of an impersonalism because everything is so fixed, everything is so static. They want to make everything efficient. That's why the idea behind the plan is to make everything efficient. That's why let's like just check out like this. Yes? Do you think that's the idea? The idea behind giving people an ability to work from home in the computers is to make it more convenient and more efficient. Yeah. And also to save money in making big offices. Yeah, there's so many jobs which people do from home nowadays. Yeah.
Yes.
But there came COVID and all the conceptions or notions or preconceived ideas about all those things was completely smashed. Like people, we were like crying, okay, work from home, work from home, work from home, if I can work from home. All over the world, so many people got opportunity to just work from home. But did it work well? Did it work well?
No.
For most of the people after COVID, were they happy that, oh my goodness, thank God I work from home?
No, Mother.
You might not know. Actually, no, because I work in a hospital, so I know. No, the number of mental health diseases has become 3 times in the last 3 years. It's the highest peak that the medical science has seen in over a decade. Number of mental health diseases have become 3 times. In China, where the COVID began, the divorce rate has become 80%. China is a communist country. So the divorce rate has become 80% because people are not able to stay with each other or with themselves. Why? Because we were aiming for impersonalism. But on the other hand, if people are trained, and also there are many other factors. That one factor is that, okay, when people are working from home, their personal time and then their professional time overlapped a lot. The entertainment time and family time and work time overlapped. So basically, it actually took longer for people to finish a job or finish the work as it would have taken if you really work in an office environment. There are many variables, but the point I'm trying to make is that there is no impersonalism in the creation of the Lord. But because I'm sitting in a dream, because my whole existence is kind of a dream, I have invited this impersonalism in my life as a part of my misunderstanding. I think that's the way I want to put it. Yeah. And then each of us have to understand, where am I impersonal? Where is my impersonalism in my job or in my life in Krishna consciousness? We are practicing impersonalism in our Krishna consciousness, right? We there's so many times. How do I give this example? This is an example. Personalism would mean that a devotee wants to have a very working, if not very nice, the aim is to have a very cordial relationship with another devotee, as serving in the same institute, like I'm a part of ISKCON, so I can say ISKCON, or serving in the part of the same temple or congregation, right? Or even same Bhakti Vriksha sometimes, the group. So that will be the aim. But then there are some devotees who can't stand each other, because they may not be fighting, they may not be like angry or fighting or have a conflict, but they could be like, okay, this devotee is going to take a lot of my time, so I better avoid that person. Yeah, if it is not in ISKCON, we all have people like this in our life. We would rather avoid conversation. Just not, it's a waste of time to talk to this person.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Mataji.
Yes,
So that's one place where we can see, think about it. It's like impersonalism. I don't want to get personal. I would rather avoid so that person doesn't exist, or somebody is avoiding us. That okay, they would rather avoid me or us because they think that talking to me or all of us or each one of us, if we have people like this, and I'm sure we have people like this in our life, is like a waste of time. So one has to go very deep in one's Krishna consciousness. If Prabhupada would have said that to his disciples, that talking to you all is a waste of time, they wouldn't have had been an ISKCON. They wouldn't. And those people who came to ISKCON, who first Prabhupada made his disciples or convinced them to chant the holy name, were not pious. They were not pious people. One person who got convinced or was attracted to Srila Prabhupada was actually a butcher. So he was actually killing the animals. That was his job. He was earning money from that. So Srila Prabhupada gave the mercy anyhow. So one thing that Navanishta Prabhu taught us is that how to filter this impersonalism from one life, which mantra I tend to use in my life, is that what will be pleasing to Srila Prabhupada? If Srila Prabhupada is here and I have to offer this service to him in person, which Prabhupada is here anyway, but if I want to offer it to him in person, what will please him? What activity done from my end will be pleasing to Srila Prabhupada? Okay, so we make decisions like that. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that Prachetas saw this lake, also saw the lotuses, the hummingbirds, the swans, different kinds of bumblebees, and different kinds of nice sound was vibrated. And so there was a lot of more of goodness there. And they could understand that they have reached the abode of Lord Shiva. So basically you have to understand that how these modes of nature are very strong. They're strong. It's not a joke. Krishna says in 7th chapter Bhagavad Gita, what is the verse? Surekha Mehta Mataji, this material energy of mine is very difficult to overcome.
Devi
Devi Yesha Gunamaya Mama Maya Durataya.
Mame Vaye Prapadyante Mayam.
Thank you. Yes, so Devi Hi Esha Gunamaye. So this material energy consisting of 3 modes of material nature, Gunamay, Mama Maya Durataya, is dependent on me, is very strong. Is very, very strong. Cannot actually escape. A person in the mode of ignorance will think that I can escape. It's fine. They can try. But a person who is actually a little bit convinced and has developed a little more faith in Krishna consciousness will accept the words of Krishna and will see that, okay, where is the mode of passion and ignorance sitting in my life? Okay, instead of getting guilty. Now, guilt is another topic we can discuss, because mode of passion and mode of ignorance, once we become aware that, oh, mode of goodness will give awareness to a person that I've done something wrong. Oh, I ate that food which was not to be eaten. So the goodness incites the intelligence to think, oh, I did wrong. Passion and ignorance will basically push the person in a toxic guilt or unhealthy guilt. Okay, so guilt has 3 stages. What are the things? I don't want to go in that discussion because the modes are acting everywhere, but I'll just, because I started, I'll tell. So guilt is like 3 stages. One is awareness that I've done something wrong. Second, if somebody can take it forward, is that feeling remorse, sorry about it. And third is taking an action, rectifying the mistake, taking an action. So what happens in the toxic guilt is one feels, but there is an awareness that, okay, I've done something wrong, and they can also feel sorry about it, but then they get stuck. They can't take action, so it is shut down. So that's one of the ways. There are 4 ways how toxic guilt can act. So that's like more passion and ignorance. So even there, passion and ignorance is acting in my consciousness. One has to be able to come up, or one has to associate with people who are not in the same mode. And that is why association of the devotees is important. That is why our house, it has to look like a temple. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did this very famous cleaning of the Gundija temple past time before Rath Yatra. In Chaitanya Chaitamrita it comes. What is it called as?
Gundija Marjana.
Gundija Marjana. So Gundija is the aunt of Jagannath, right? So she has a temple, Gundija temple, where Jagannath goes and rests for 10 days, I think, when he gets cold because of the Snan Yatra, he catches cold. So before Jagannath was going to come, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did this whole festival of Gundija Marjana. Marjana means cleaning. You can read in Chaitanya Chaitamrita that how much effort was made to bring the water from the ocean to clean pots and pots of water. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after the cleaning was done, found one speck of dirt. The whole thing started again. So it's so important to be clean. It's so, Prabhupada says in the Kali Yuga, people will find it very hard to even take bath, especially in the Western countries. Prabhupada says this, that even the Western countries, not all people have arrangements to take bath. And Prabhupada said in India, we take bath 2 times a day, 3 times a day. But here in Western world, they do dry cleaning. And there's so many children who go to the school in the morning without bath. They just get up, brush their teeth, wash their face, change their clothes, and go to the school. See, we are like teaching our children also not to be clean, not healthy, because the aim of life is to become Krishna conscious. Okay, I don't want to go tangential. I think I've gone much tangential. I'm sorry. Any questions, reflections, realizations? I have a very nice exercise to do today. Sorry. Any questions, reflections, realizations, corrections?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Sujata Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, I'm sorry to ask you again and again. I want to because I'll hear at this time, but my children, they'll be sleeping. So I want your this one, whatever you tell now. So I want them to hear. So how can I? So that time I asked you, I couldn't get you. That's why I'm asking you again.
Mataji, how old are they, if I may ask?
Okay, my daughter is 25 years. She's a doctor, and my son he's in 6th and doing engineering. 21 years.
How old is he? I'm interested in the age.
21
25,
years.
25, so they're adults. So, Mataji, every age has to be taken according to. It's not like standard rule. You know, the way you request a 2-year-old is not going to be the same you're going to do for 12-year-old, and it's not going to be same for 21 or 25-year-old. That particular age, they have already developed the sense of they want to live, the sense of how they understand the world. So the best thing will be have a conversation with them. Okay? And that's the best age, actually. Most of the people become devotees during those age if they're not born in a Vaishnava family. So have a conversation with them that, hey, what are your interests in life? Would you like to, if you have so many interests, would you like to explore this as well? Now, how I trick my children, it's not that they like my classes. It's not like how I trick my children, because my children are younger. So it's like 11-year-old and 15-year-old. It's like I play Prabhupada's lecture. So actually they have no, and it's playing everywhere. When I'm cooking, cleaning, it's playing. The minute we enter the car, I have a iPod connected to the car. The minute I start the car, Prabhupada's lectures start playing. So they have heard it so many years, so much that actually they now know what the next line is going to be. But that doesn't mean that they have understood it. That doesn't mean, but at least the vibration has entered and the work has started. So first of all, Mataji, for adults, the best way is to have a conversation. And maybe I don't know how close the family is, maybe that is a good age to pick up a book and read together. If they have not read any book, pick up perfect question, perfect answer, and maybe read like 1 page a day together in circle. Like just let's say your daughter reads, and then she reads a question, she reads the answer, and then all of you give your opinion as to what's happening. So because you're not going to be able to make an opinion for them anymore. Okay, and that's okay. So that's a milestone of that age.
Okay, my son reads this one self-realization.
Okay, so do it as once a week. Do it as a collective.
Before he used to get up and chant with me early in the morning, ma'am. And once I went to we went to astrologer. He said, you do chanting before going to bed. So nowadays he chants at 11:30, 11 o'clock. No, before he used to get up early in the morning, chant, and then he used to get ready for college. And nowadays he's not getting up and not chanting with me. He chants alone and I'll chant myself.
Okay. Hey, do you want me to hear this, or is there a question for me? I need to understand.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how to get him back. And we used to read Bhagavad Gita one sloka every day together.
Yeah.
And nowadays, sometimes time he will sit and otherwise he won't do. And
Mataji, what did you say?
sometimes we will do it together, Mataji. Otherwise, sometimes he won't read. I will read one sloka of Bhagavad Gita and that Bhavartha of that every day.
Okay. Is there an association you can send him to? Is there a temple near your house where he can go and feel himself a part of the community?
No, Mataji. Like we don't have Krishna temple. We have ISKCON in Rajaji Nagar. Well, it's far from our house.
Okay. Okay, sometimes
They put up in Bangalore.
Yeah. So you come to Bangalore then, maybe once every 2 months. Come to Bangalore, bring him. Once he goes to Naminishra Prabhu, he'll take care of it. You have to have faith.
Yeah, once we should come, Mataji. And Mataji, one more question. Sometimes I may not be able to hear in the morning, Mataji, because I have to prepare for them lunchbox and all. So how can I listen to your class? I like your class very much, Mataji.
But thank you for the appreciation. It's been recorded. We are still in the recording. So you can go to the YouTube channel of the Temple Radha Govind YouTube channel. And then listen to the class there.
Oh, okay. Later I can listen, Mataji. Then what I should go type, Mataji, in YouTube channel?
Mataji, short Srimad Bhagavatam short class. You see here? Short Srimad Bhagavatam class.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Dr.
Okay.
Saxena,
Okay.
you were saying something?
Yes, Mataji. In fact, you mentioned about purification, the sacrifices and austerity and penances lead to purification. But in the second chapter, probably it is mentioned that the process of sacrifice, austerity and penances also leads to transcendental knowledge, development of transcendental knowledge, and thereby transcendental devotional service. Is that understanding all right? Not only purifies, but also knowledge develops, and from knowledge, devotional service also develops.
Yes, if it is done. Yes, you're right. Ultimately, the goal is spiritual. Even
Yes.
when I was saying that, okay, we are going to purify our subtle body so that we can use our gross body to achieve service of Krishna.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So that remains true in every situation. Even Hiranyakashipu was doing austerity, right?
Yes,
Hiranyakashipu did so much austerity.
yes.
So what was he doing? His gross body was eaten by the ants. There was ant hill around him. So what was he purifying? He was strengthening his mind. He was strengthening his mind so much that because of his austerity, the temperature rose and even the demigods' planets were shaken, and even one eyebrow he would lift, Indra will be shaking. My goodness, Hiranyakashipu. So by virtue of the austerities, even he could get the strength. But his goal was not spiritual. That kind of an austerity is in the mode of ignorance. Right? So we are talking about, I'm not clear about your question. No, I don't think I don't think. Could you explain your question, please?
You mentioned about that the process of austerities or sacrifice that leads to purification. Besides purification, it also leads to development of transcendental knowledge as well as transcendental devotional service. This is my point.
So transcendental knowledge develop karne ke liye, we need to be ready, no? Knowledge is there, right? We are there. Knowledge is also there, but how much are we absorbing the knowledge?
Yes.
So if you are trying to add to whatever I said that day, is fine. I'm not questioning it. It's fine. But the austerity is what I gave a foundational statement. It was a principle-based talk that when we are doing an austerity, This is my understanding. And then I was able to apply it everywhere. When we do an austerity, we purify our subtle body. Because the reason why I have this gross body is because my subtle body has a desire, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Even Krishna says that in 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. I'll show you. Based on the desire of the mind, one develops different kinds of senses.
Bodies, yes.
Right? So what is that very famous verse?
Mm,
Let me just see.
One the forms
Um,
according to desires at the time of living body, and also intense propensity and the past karmas, they determine what kind of body one is going to take.
See, the living entity here, verse number 8 and verse number 9. Why don't we do like this? 15th chapter, verse 8. The living entity in the material world carries his different conceptions of life, one body to another, as the air carries aromas. Thus, he takes one kind of body and again quits it to take another. So basically, what is this carrying the aroma? What is this conception? It's in the mind, right?
Yeah.
So then the living entity, thus taking another gross body, obtains a certain type of ear, eye, tongue, nose, and sense of touch, which are grouped about the mind. And thus he enjoys a particular set of sense objects. So basically, when I say austerity, penance, it's not that so that I can get in shape, so that I can, get the wrinkles out of my face, or so that I can have the better vision of the eye. Not like that. Because my mind is purified, my intelligence is purified. So I can
Subtle
actually
body.
align my desires according to what Krishna consciousness is. Even if we are chanting Hare Krishna, if with my mind, I'm still doing activities in the mode of ignorance or passion, I am not going to going to Goloka Vrindavan. Krishna says that, right? Even if, let's say, I am chanting Hare Krishna, we can take a Jamil's example. A Jamil chanted Hare Krishna at the end of his life. Yes, he chanted with the almost pure name, but he didn't go to Goloka Vrindavan. He was given a second chance to purify himself more so that he can, then when he died, he went back. Right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Are we on the same page? Because you are very intelligent. I just want to be on the same page.
No, not really, Mataji. But just I wanted to clear myself. That is my message.
The Shastras talk like this. Shastras have different austerities, but what kind of austerity is congenial for the goal of developing Krishna consciousness?
Yes,
the austerity, which is start with the mode of goodness and then go to the mode of transcendental goodness. But it also says what kind of an austerity to avoid. It's also there.
Yeah,
right?
yes.
We could be doing an austerity in a wrong manner.
Do's and don'ts.
Yes. Today only I heard a lecture of different types of renunciations in the Shastras. There's the Vairagya. Vairagya, so the one kind of Vairagya is we need to have a certain kind of Vairagya to begin bhakti. And by doing bhakti, we develop different Vairaga, different more renunciation. And then there are also different kinds of Vairaga which we have to actually avoid because it can harden our bhakti, can stop. So the Shastras talk like that. Okay.
Perhaps there are 6 or 8 types of Vairagya, isn't it? There are 6
There are
or 8
types of Vairagyas that Maharaj was talking about when he was giving. Anyway, I don't want to go tangential. I just want to say that there are different kinds of things mentioned in the Shastras for everything that's there. If you read 3rd Canto Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 29, it talks about devotional service to Krishna in the mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. We can say devotional service is transcendental. No, devotional service performed in the material world with material senses and material body in the mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. I mean, I'll take Ayushi Mataji's question and then pull up that verse.
Krishna Mataji. Mataji was explaining something forward, remorse, and taking an action. Am I audible to you, Mataji? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
You are kind of,
can you hear my voice?
I can hear your voice.
Mataji. My question is, Mataji, that you are explaining certain lines forward, remorse, and taking action. Could you please explain it?
But that's the guilt, Mataji. Don't go there. That's like a guilt. I was talking about the modes are everywhere. So the definition of guilt is that I have an insight that I've done something wrong. That's the guilt, right? That's the guilt definition. So there are 3 stages psychologically that can happen. One is that one recognizes, acknowledges that I've done something wrong. Then the second stage is there's a feeling associated with it, and the feeling is apologetic and sorry. And then the third step is take an action to correct it, right? So people who are in the mode of goodness can do all these things. But other modes, lower modes, passion, person in the mode of passion may not be able to go to the second and third step. Person in the mode of ignorance will not have any insight. So there is a psychological diagnosis in the medical science called sociopath or psychopath. Sociopath or psychopath is a person who actually has done something very obviously wrong, but thinks that has done nothing wrong. They don't have any insight. That's coming from mode of ignorance. Okay. I was just trying to explain that there are different kinds of modes everywhere.
Thank you, Mataji. Mataji, I have one more question related to previous. I have one more question related to previous class. May I ask you?
You can try.
Someday back. You were explaining 3 kinds of talks are there. 3 kinds of talks are there, which Jiva Goswami tells. So I did not get that properly. Can you please explain it again, like talking about
if
people?
I remember.
Mundane talk, something it was.
Hey, my Bhakti Shastri girls, Mani Jain Mataji, are you here? Sureka Mehta, Reena Gupta Mataji. Discussed it in detail. Mataji, Sureka Mehta Mataji, do you remember the technical names?
Mataji, I couldn't get the question only, Mataji. I couldn't hear.
Remember, we spoke about it in that Bhakti Shastri class. Jiva Goswami talks about the 3 kinds of conversations. Vatinda, and then Jalpa, and
yes,
and
Jalpa Prajalpa. Jalpa Prajalpa and
Vada.
No, don't say Prajal. But what's the first? Ananda Mataji, do you remember?
Mataji, I raised my hand for a different question, Mataji, not for this.
All right, so just wait for a second. Mataji, Ayushi Mataji, I don't remember the Sanskrit name of the first one, but the first kind of talk that Jiva Goswami Prabhupada talks about is the talk about people. We are wasting our time to talk about people, just local, like just normal people. This person did this. This person is the chief minister of this. This person got married. This person got children. This person got no children. This person got divorced. This person is this. So that's like the lowest level of talk. Then there is Jalpa. Jalpa is a talk about important events. Okay, like this particular temple is opening, so there is an opening event, or Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken, and it's an event. So we talk about event. We may not go in the detail, but there's an event. Then Vad is a conversation about philosophy. So about higher consciousness. There's a little bit of Krishna consciousness. There may be a light of Krishna consciousness, but about higher consciousness. Okay, so let's talk about us. We have this problem of birth, death, old age, disease. Where do we actually come from? Is this normal? Like talks like this. But once we start talking about Krishna consciousness directly, direct Krishna consciousness, that who is Krishna, what's a soul, what's a relationship, what are the other living entities, what is this material world, what is this spiritual world, what is between material and spiritual world, all these 10 topics of Srimad Bhagavatam, then that conversation is called Samavad. Okay, so I don't remember the name of the first one. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Ananda Mataji, you can unmute, but Dr. Saxena, do you see this verse? Oh, Lord Kapila, the personality of Godhead, replied, "Oh, noble lady, there are multifarious paths of devotional service in terms of different qualities of the executor. Devotional service executed by a person who is envious, proud, violent, and angry, who is a separatist, is considered to be in the mode of darkness. So the word used is devotional service. The worship of the deities in the temple by a separatist, which with a motive for material enjoyment, fame, and opulence, is devotion in the mode of passion. When a devotee worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead and offers the results of his activity in order to free himself from the inebrities of fruitive activities, his devotion is in the mode of goodness. So even the devotional service is affected by our modes. What to say of anything else?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mataji, go
Thanks,
ahead.
Mataji.
Ananda, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, Sujata Mataji asked you a question and you told some books you suggested, The Perfect Question, Perfect Answer. Is that the title of the book?
Yeah, it's a very famous book. Bob Cohen. Let me see if this book is in Veda base. Yeah, it's Perfect Question, Perfect Answers. There's this teacher who is visiting India from America, and he meets Srila Prabhupada in the camp. And then he asks Srila Prabhupada these questions. It's not in this website, but I'm sure you'll find it somewhere. Yes. Oh, Mataji, if you email me, I'll send you the book. I have a soft copy.
Okay, Mataji.
Okay. Perfect Question, Perfect
Is this
Answer.
also available on Veda base?
No, I'm looking at the Veda base right now. Oh, if you have the Veda base, like the Veda base on the disk or the hard drive, that Veda base, or this website that I'm showing you, Veda base. What
This
are you?
website, Mataji.
Yeah, so I don't see it. Do you see it? I don't see it. I don't see it, Mataji. So it's not there.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I have a book in Kannada Mataji. Same thing. Paripurna Prashnagalu, Paripurna Uttaragalu. Same thing, Mataji.
Yeah,
Yes.
Mataji, if you want it in English, you can text me. You can text you. I'm sorry, text me. You can email me, and I can email you the copy. Okay, or whoever wants the copy, please email me, and I can